Good morning, students. In the last class, we discussed with what is a labor turnover, what is a idle time, and what is an overtime. Idle time, that means if an employee remains idle at the workplace for a definite period of time, or particular period of time, or for a short period of time, but nothing doing with the employee, but the same time, the same amount is also to be paid as full salary to the employee by the employer. So that time where the employee remains idle in the workplace, that is the idle time. Then we see overtime. Extra the normal hours, if any worker is worked, we need to pay as double the rate of the normal salary. So that is the case with the overtime. And we see the labor turnover, the rate of change of the employees coming into the organization as well as staying by the employees in the organization. That is called the labor turnover. These three things we see in the previous classes. So today, and also what are the causes with regard to the labor turnover, that is the avoidable causes also and unavoidable causes. And next we are going to see measurement of labor turnover, that is separation method is there, replacement method is there, flex method is there, requirement method is there. So these are the measurement of labor turnover. So how the labor turnover ratio to be calculated on the separation method? Number of workers left during the period. ആരൊക്കെയാണ് എത്ര എണ്ണം ആൾക്കാരാണ് പിരിഞ്ഞു പോകുന്നത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലെഫ്റ്റ് ഡ്യൂറിംഗ് ദ പീരീഡ് ഡിവൈഡ് ബൈ ആവറേജ് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് വർക്കേഴ്സ് റോൾ ഡ്യൂറിംഗ് ദ പീരീഡ്. അതായത് ആവറേജ് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് വർക്കേഴ്സ് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദെയർ ഇൻ ദ ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ, that is staying in the organization, അതും the number of workers that leaves the organization, അത് തമ്മിലുള്ള റേഷ്യോ ആണ് the labor turnover ratio under the separation method. Therefore, average number of workers is equal to number of workers at the beginning and number of workers at the end. Each month, at the beginning, how many workers is there, and at the end, how many workers is there? Take the average. That is the average number of workers roll during the period. ആ സമയത്ത് റോളിങ്ങിലുള്ള എത്ര എംപ്ലോയീസ്, അതിനെ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നു? നമ്പർ ഓഫ് വർക്കേഴ്സ് ലെഫ്റ്റ് ഡ്യൂറിംഗ് ഓർ ലീവ് ഡ്യൂറിംഗ് ദ പീരീഡ്, ആ സമയത്ത് പിരിഞ്ഞു പോയവരുടെ ഇതുമായിട്ട് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്യും. So then we are taking the labor turnover ratio under the separation method. Under the replacement method, number of workers replaced during a period, ആ പേര് ഓർക്കണം, replaced എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മാറ്റി സ്ഥാപിച്ചു എന്നാണ്. അപ്പം ഓരോരുത്തരെ മാറ്റി ഇതാകുന്നു, divided by average number of workers on roll during the period. എല്ലാത്തിലും എന്തിനെ കൊണ്ടാണ് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? average number of workers on roll during the period. അപ്പോൾ average number of workers എന്താണ്? Number of workers at the beginning plus number of workers at the end of the period. That divided by 2, that is the average, and that average to be divided from where number of workers left during the period in case of separation method, replaced during the period in case of replacement method, and flex method, the third one, number of workers left plus number of workers replaced, the combination of these two, separation and replacement. അതായത് പോയവരെ മാറ്റിയപ്പെട്ടവരെ, ഒരു വർക്കിൽ നിന്ന് മറ്റൊരിടത്തോട്ട് മാറ്റപ്പെട്ടവരുണ്ട്, റീപ്ലേസ് ചെയ്തവരുണ്ട്, അതുപോലെ ലീവ് ദ കമ്പനി, അത് രണ്ടും കൂടി എടുത്ത് അതിനെ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ ആവറേജ് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് വർക്കേഴ്സ് റോൾ ഡ്യൂറിംഗ് ദ പീരീഡ്, ടേക്ക് ദ പെർസെന്റേജ്. ആൻഡ് റിക്വയർമെന്റ് മെത്തേഡ്, നമ്പർ ഓഫ് വർക്കേഴ്സ് റിക്വയർഡ് ടു റീപ്ലേസ് ഡ്യൂറിംഗ് ദ പീരീഡ്, ആരെയൊക്കെ മാറ്റണം, അതിന് പകരം ആളെ കൊണ്ടുവരണം, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കേസിലുള്ളത് ഡിവൈഡ് ബൈ ആവറേജ് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് വർക്കേഴ്സ് ഓൺ റോൾ ഡ്യൂറിംഗ് ദി പീരീഡ്. ഇത് അത്ര ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് ഉള്ളതല്ല. സോ യു നീഡ് ടു സ്റ്റഡി ദി ഫോർമുല, ആൻഡ് ഓൾസോ there is one problem, you need to do it by yourself. So separation method, that is how it is to be labor turnover ratio calculated, number of workers left during the period or leave during the period divided by average number of workers on roll during the period into 100. average number of workers on roll during the period is equal to number of workers at the beginning of the period plus number of workers at the end of the period divided by 2. Isn't it? So that is the average number of workers. Okay. And in case of a replacement method, only the change is instead of number of workers leave or left during the period, there we need to put number of workers replaced during the period divided by average number of workers on roll during the period into 100. Flex method means combination of both the cases, number of workers left as well as number of workers replaced, the both that take the total divided by average number of workers on roll during the period into 100. And requirement method, number of workers required to replace during the period divided by average number of workers on roll during the period. So this is the measurement with regard to labor turnover. And then what is an out worker? Out worker in the sense means field worker. So field workers or out workers are those workers who work outside the factory premises. വെളിയിൽ ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നവരെ, inside അല്ല outside ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നവരാണ് out workers or field workers. The out workers may be classified into workers who are on the payroll of the factory and not on the payroll of the factory. അത് വളരെ എളുപ്പമാണ്. From the name itself, they are there in the payroll of the factory. They are the employees itself. Contract based ആണെങ്കിൽ അവർക്ക് ചിലപ്പോൾ പൈസ കൊടുക്കുന്നത് വേറെ ആൾക്കാരായിരിക്കും. They are not in the payroll of the factory. So just look into this. These are the workers who are sent to the customer's premises to perform some specific duties such as repair work, plumbing work, sanitary work, electric work, etc. Job cards are usually used to record the time spent by them on various jobs, while workers who are not on the payroll of the factory, these are the workers who perform the work at their own premises with the raw material and the tools supplied by the employer and deliver the manufactured goods to the employer on finishing the work. They are usually paid on a piece wage system. സമയത്തിനല്ല കാര്യം, ഇവർക്ക് പ്രൊഡക്ഷന്റെ ബേസിലാണ് ഇത്ര വർക്ക് തീർത്ത് കൊടുത്താലേ ഇവർക്ക് ഫണ്ട് പൈസ കിട്ടുള്ളൂ. അതാണ്. സോ ഔട്ട് വർക്കേഴ്സ് ഓർ ഔട്ട്സൈഡ് വർക്കേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഫീൽഡ് വർക്കേഴ്സ്, ദേ ആർ വർക്കിംഗ് ഔട്ട്സൈഡ് ദി ഫാക്ടറി പ്രമിസസ്. സോ അത് രണ്ട് തരത്തിലുണ്ട്, ഓൺ ദ പേറോൾ ഓഫ് ദ ഫാക്ടറി ആൻഡ് നോട്ട് ഓൺ ദ പേറോൾ ഓഫ് ദ ഫാക്ടറി. Isn't it? Then another one is casual workers. Casual workers are those workers who are not on the payroll of the factory but are engaged casually whenever there is an extra work in the factory or whenever regular workers are absent. അതായത് സ്ഥിരമായിട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നവര് ആബ്സെന്റ് ആകുമ്പോൾ ഇവരെ വിളിച്ചാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതായത് റീപ്ലേസ്മെന്റ് എന്ന് പറയാം, അതായത് സബ്സ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് എന്ന് വേണേൽ പറയാം. They are employed as additional workers over the regular labor force. Wages paid to such workers are treated as factory overhead because they are not the direct employee. They are not directly proportional or directly put it as which expense? Production expense. Production expense is the expense that is directly incurred. Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses that you are already studied in the first module. So, wages paid to such workers are treated as factory overhead expense if the time spent by them cannot be attributed to specific jobs. If the time spent by them can be identified with the specific jobs, the wages paid to them are treated as direct wages and debited to the job for which time is spent. If the time spent by them can be identified with the specific jobs, ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു particular ജോബിലോട്ട് അവരെ അലോട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് ഡയറക്റ്റ് എക്സ്പെൻസ് ആണ്, because they are the production factors. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അതിന് ഡയറക്റ്റ് വേജസും മറ്റേ കേസിൽ ഇൻഡയറക്റ്റ് വേജസും ആകുന്ന കാര്യം. ആരെങ്കിലും ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇവരെ വെച്ച് പണിയെടുപ്പിക്കും. അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോൾ അവർ ഇൻഡയറക്ട്ലി ഇൻകറിംഗ് ദാറ്റ് എക്സ്പെൻസ് ആണ്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഫാക്ടറി ഓവർഹെഡ് ആകുന്നത്. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇൻ ദ പ്രൈം കോസ്റ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് കമ്മിങ്, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഡയറക്റ്റ്. ക്ലിയർ? ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ കാഷ്വൽ വർക്കേഴ്സ്. ദ ടൈം സ്റ്റഡി, മോഷൻ സ്റ്റഡി. വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദ ടൈം സ്റ്റഡി? It is the technique used to measure the time that may be taken by a worker of a reasonable skill and the ability to perform a job. The time study is conducted with the help of a stopwatch. അതായത് ഒരു വാച്ച് നോക്കി നിർത്താതെയുള്ള മറ്റേ സ്റ്റോപ്പ് വാച്ച് നോക്കിയിട്ടാണ് എത്ര സമയം കൊണ്ടാണ് അവനെ പണി തീർക്കുന്നത്. So measuring the time. Clear? So time study is a technique that is used to measure the time that may be taken by a worker of a reasonable skill and an ability to perform the job. and it is to be checked with the help of a stopwatch. While motion study, technique which involves close observation of the movements of the body and the limbs required to perform a job. അതായത് കൈ കാൽ അനക്കുന്നതിനനുസരിച്ച് മൂവ്മെന്റ്സ് ഒബ്സർവിംഗ് ദ വർക്കർ, മറ്റേത് മെഷറിംഗ് ദ ടൈം, അതാണ് ടൈം സ്റ്റഡി. ഇത് ഒബ്സർവിംഗ് ദ വർക്കർ. So motion study is a technique that involves close observation of the movements of the body and limbs required to perform a job. It helps to eliminate the wasteful motion and to determine the best way of doing the job. So, time study measuring the time of the workers performed in any work, while observing the workers, their movement of the body as well as the limbs required to perform a job, that is the motion study. Next is what is that? Information in the sense means some terms, that is only. Learning curve. When a worker becomes more familiar with a task through repetitive work, he becomes more proficient in work. ഒരേ വർക്ക് തന്നെ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ he will become more proficient. As he gains the experience, the average time to manufacture a unit decreases. He takes less time and makes fewer mistakes. അല്ലേ? തെറ്റുകൾ കുറവായിരിക്കും കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ജോബിലാണെങ്കിൽ. The labor hours decrease in a definite pattern as labor operations are repeated. Similarly, in production, a condition occurs when a new process is introduced. The production time decreases at a constant rate and the cumulative quantity produced increases. So the learning curve is a curve or a chart formed which shows that efficiency and output increase in a constant proportion to repetitive work, experience and skill of the workers. So that is the curve or a chart. That is learning curve that shows the efficiency and the output increase. So കാര്യക്ഷമതയും ഉൽപാദന കൂടുതലും അതിനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടുള്ള ഒരു ചാർട്ടാണ്. അത് എന്തിനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇത് നടത്തുന്ന എഫിഷ്യൻസി ആൻഡ് ഔട്ട്പുട്ട്? ത്രൂ repetitive work done by the worker, through the experience generated as well as the skill maintained or gained from by the work done. So that is the learning curve. So it's curve or a chart that is formed that shows the efficiency and the output increase in a constant proportion to do the repetitive task, experience and also the skill of the workers. That is the learning curve. Then job evaluation, evaluating the performed job. It is the process of determining the relative worth of different categories of jobs for fixation of labor remuneration. Labor remuneration വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഒരാളുടെ പെർഫോമൻസ് അപ്രൈസ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ that is the case of evaluating that job. This is necessitated due to the difference in the value of different jobs. Payment has to be made on the basis of the worth of different jobs. Relative worth means relative money value of the products brought out. Therefore, ILO defines job evaluation as the process of determining the relative worth of various jobs within the organization so that different wages may be paid to jobs of different worth or different value produced. പല ജോബ്സിനും പല രീതിയിലുള്ള വർത്താണ്, മൂല്യമാണ്. അവരത് ചെയ്ത് തീർക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ എന്നുള്ളത്. Evaluating each job based on the performance by each worker, that is job evaluation. The relative worth of different categories of jobs, process of determining the relative value of different categories of jobs. പല ജോബിനും പല വാല്യൂ ആണ്, isn't it? ലബോറട്ടറി ടെക്നീഷ്യന് ആ ഒരു ഇതിന്റെ ഇതാണ്, ഒരു ടീച്ചർക്ക് അല്ലെ ഒരു ലെക്ചറർക്ക് അതിൻ്റെതായ ഒരു വാല്യൂ ആണ്, isn't it? So like that, evaluating the job itself. So ILO defines job evaluation as the process of determining the relative worth of various jobs within the organization so that the different wages may be paid to jobs of different worth or different value produced. So based on the value of each and every job, remuneration is to be given to the workers performed by that job or performing in that job. So that is the job evaluation. Next, some terms, job analysis. Job analysis is the process of analysis of the qualities, the skill, the qualification and the experience required by the workers for performing specific jobs. For the effective performance of different jobs, an organization requires personnel of different type with different qualification, skill and the quality. In other words, job should be matched the job holder. Job analysis is a process of collecting and analyzing relevant facts of a job with a view to select and place the most suitable person to perform the job. So, analyzing a job means what? Collecting and analyzing the relevant facts of a job. ഒരു ജോബിന്റെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാര്യങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? കളക്ട് ചെയ്ത് അത് വിശകലനം ചെയ്യുന്നു. So that with a view to select the most person and place them in the appropriate area in order to perform the job. Therefore, according to Flippo, job analysis is the process of studying and collecting information relating to the operations and responsibilities of a specific job. So that is the job analysis, analyzing a particular job. That the most suitable person place area വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഒരു ജോബിന്റെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് ആസ്പെക്ട്സ് എല്ലാം പഠിച്ചെടുക്കുന്നു അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കളക്ട് ചെയ്ത് അത് അനലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. അതിനെയാണ് അനലൈസിങ് എ ജോബ് ഓർ ജോബ് അനാലിസിസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Then, job enrichment. Job enrichment is a non-financial technique of motivating the employees by designing the jobs in such a way as to build in the opportunity for achievement, recognition, and personal growth of the employees. In order to motivate the employees, job itself must provide the opportunities for achieving the thing, recognizing responsibility, advance, and growth. So, enrichment means it is a non-financial, സാമ്പത്തികപരമല്ലാത്ത ഒരു കേസാണ്. Enrichment with regard to a particular job by motivating the employees. അവർക്ക് ഒരു പ്രൈസ് കൊടുക്കുക അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരെ ഒന്ന് പുകഴ്ത്തുക, അതാണ് ഇന്നത് അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്തു. So, this is the what is that? This month, what is in some institution or in some organization there is some ranking is there for the workers. So, അങ്ങനെ ഫസ്റ്റ് റാങ്ക് കിട്ടിയതിന് ഓക്കെ അപ്രീസിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആ ഒരു കേസ് മീൻസ് what is that? Non-financial technique, സാമ്പത്തികപരമായിട്ടല്ല. Okay, of motivating the employees by designing the jobs in such a way as to build in the opportunity for achieving the thing, recognition, and personal growth of the employees. അപ്പൊ എന്താ? വീണ്ടും അവർക്ക് പണിയെടുക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു വ്യഗ്രത ഉണ്ടാകും. അതാണ് ജോബ് എൻറിച്ച്മെന്റ്. Then, it may be defined as an attempt to design the jobs in such a way as to build in the opportunity for achievement, recognition, responsibility, and personal growth of the employees. So that is the job enrichment. So job enrichment may be defined as an attempt to design the jobs. Job designing is there in accordance with the opportunity for achieving the things by the worker, recognizing the things by the worker, responsibility to be taken by the worker, and also thereby maintaining or gaining the personal growth. So that is the enriching the job. So evaluation, isn't it? Analysis, enrichment, and merit rating. Merit rating is the rating or grading the workers on the basis of their merit to treat them differently in remunerating them. അതായത് ലെസ് എഫിഷ്യന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളത് അങ്ങനെയുള്ളവരെ താഴ്ത്തി മോർ എഫിഷ്യന്റിനെ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? ഇൻക്രീസിങ്. ആ ഒരു പ്രക്രിയയാണ് മെറിറ്റ് റേറ്റിംഗ്. അതായത് റേറ്റിംഗ് ദ മെറിറ്റ് ഓർ ഗ്രേഡിംഗ് ദ വർക്കേഴ്സ്. ഓരോന്നിനെ തിരിക്കുന്നു. മോസ്റ്റ് എഫിഷ്യന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളവരെ ഒരു കാറ്റഗറി, പിന്നെ കുറച്ചുകൂടി എഫിഷ്യന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളവരെ അങ്ങനെ, ലീസ്റ്റ് എഫിഷ്യന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഇവിടെ ഏറ്റവും താഴെ. അപ്പൊ അതാണ് ഇവാലുവേഷൻ ഓഫ് ദി മെറിറ്റ് ഓഫ് ദ വർക്കേഴ്സ് ആൻഡ് ദെയർ ക്ലാസിഫിക്കേഷൻ ഓൺ ഇറ്റ്സ് ബേസിസ്. അവരെ ക്ലാസിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ആ ഇതിലാണ്. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ ഇവാലുവേഷൻ ഓഫ് ദി merit of the workers and their classification on its basis. It is a systematic appraisal of the employee's personality, traits, skill, experience, and the performance on the basis of which the jobs are designed in order to determine their contribution and relative worth to the firm. ആ ഫേമിന് അവരുടെ വാല്യൂ എന്താണെന്ന് അവർ മനസ്സിലാക്കും. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അവർക്ക് ഒരു ഗ്രേഡിംഗ് സിസ്റ്റം ഉണ്ടാക്കുകയാണ്. സോ അപ്രൈസൽ ഓഫ് ദ എംപ്ലോയീസ്, എന്ത് എംപ്ലോയീസിന്റെ എന്തൊക്കെ പേഴ്സണാലിറ്റി, ട്രേറ്റ്സ്, കഴിവുകള്, അവരുടെ സ്കിൽസ്, അവർ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഗെയിൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന ഏതിലാണ്, ആൻഡ് ദെയർ ബൈ പെർഫോമൻസ് ഓൺ ദ ബേസിസ് ഓഫ് വിച്ച് ദ ജോബ്സ് ആർ ഡിസൈൻഡ് in order to determine their contribution and the relative worth to the firm. Certain factors are taken into account in rating the merit of employees and the points that are assigned under each of these factors. So merit rating means grading or giving rating to the workers on their merits to treat them differently in remunerating them. അപ്പോൾ എന്താ, മോസ്റ്റ് എഫിഷ്യന്റ് അവർക്ക് ഒരു ഹൈ എമൗണ്ട് ഓഫ് ബോണസ് കൊടുക്കുക along with the wages. അപ്പോൾ എന്താ, they are appreciated, or they will get praised among the other workers so that their motivation size is increased. They become more productive in the near future. That is the merit rating or rating the merit of workers. Then the factors commonly used for merit rating are quantity of the work, quality of the work, initiative and the effort done, sense of responsibility, experience, skill, knowledge and aptitude for the work, the cooperation, the honesty and the integrity, the discipline, the attendance and regularity, the sense of judgment, extraordinary personal characteristics. So these are the factors that denotes merit rating. Work quantity is there, quality is there, initiative and effort done by the workers is there, responsibility to take it, experience to be gained, the skill with which the worker, the knowledge having the worker, the aptitude test having the work in order to do that work. How the worker is to be cooperated with the other workers, how he become the honest, how his integrity is there, how he is disciplined, how the attendance is there, regularity is there or not, and how he is judging the general things and also some other extraordinary personal characteristics. So these are the factors that based on these, the rating or grading of the employees is to be done. Another term is the direct expenses. What is a direct expense? Direct expenses are those expenses which can be clearly identified or traced to a job, product, cost center or cost unit, etc. These are the expenses which have been incurred in full in making a particular product or providing a service or running a department. I think this is the repetition because we already studied this direct expense there. Okay, so we see direct material there that is directly traceable from a product. Direct labor is there, means for the production process we are directly paying some for that particular production requirement. We are paying something for the work done by the worker. That's direct labor. Direct expenses, those expenses, next portion direct expense, that is overhead. Indirect expenses, that is overhead. This direct indirect indirect expense factory overhead, production overhead or factory overhead, administration overhead, selling and distribution overhead, isn't it? So direct expenses are those expenses which can be clearly identified or traced to a job, product or cost center or cost unit, etc. These are the expenses which have been incurred in full in making a particular product or rendering a services or running a particular department. So according to CIMA London, direct expenses are the cost other than the material and labor which can be identified in a specific product or a saleable service. So, direct labor material it can be easily traceable from a particular product or the production process or the rendering a service, isn't it? Labor. That is to be directly traceable or clearly identifiable from a production process, maybe a job or a product or a cost center or a cost unit like that. So the cost other than material and labor, material and labor that all will help in identifying a specified product or for rendering a saleable service. So that is the direct expenses. Examples are cost of making a model or a special design before starting the work of the original product, royalty paid for manufacturing a product, experimental expense for manufacturing an item, and consultants fees paid for production or execution of any specific job. So this is the that are directly traceable other than the material and labor for a particular production process, maybe from a job or for a product or for a saleable service, maybe from a cost center or a cost unit. So these are the expenses that are directly traceable or identifiable from a production process or a saleable service, rendering a saleable service. Characteristics of direct expenses are should be an expense necessary for that job or a product because it is directly incurred. Then it can be incurred conveniently for that job or product. Our job or production process conveniently incurred or used. Then it can be incurred specifically for that job or product. So it can be incurred specifically for that job or product, and it should be an expenditure other than the direct material and direct labor. അതായത് ഒരു ചെലവാണ് അത് other than the direct material and direct labor. So these are the characteristics of a direct expenses. So with that, we are going to conclude this module, labor cost control. So from the entire module, now you are gaining information regarding or gaining the knowledge regarding what is the labor cost, what is a direct labor, what is an indirect labor, and what are the methods in which controlling the labor cost, like time rate system, piece rate system, then incentive scheme or premium bonus system, then group bonus scheme, then out of profit scheme and profit sharing scheme like that, and also the fringe benefit means non-monetary benefits are there. Through these methods or measures, we can control the labor cost. So with that, we are going to and end with this session regarding the labor cost control. Next is the overhead or the expenses part. So we see in the second module the material cost, third module the labor cost, and then fourth module overheads or expenses, and the fifth module the main thing, the cost sheet, how it is to be prepared. So 2 more modules need to complete. So please have a look at today's classes and the previous class also regarding the labor cost. Please study these part for the theory portion, the last one, as well as for the problem part. There is Taylor's differential piece rate system, Merrick's differential piece rate system, the Gantt task and bonus plan, a Rowan plan, Halsey plan, and Halsey Ware premium plan. So these are the important aspects you need to study. And also, please confirm after uploading the videos. Okay, so thank you for the day.